Greetings. Today is July 25th, 2023, and we're back with another video. It's summertime. It's hot out there. Hope you're drinking plenty of water. Hope you're still collecting awesome action figures. But in this video, we're going to be reviewing the Superman vs. Doomsday 2-pack from Mcfarlane Toys. Now, mind you, when this, pretty much when this figure came out, when I bought it, it was, $60, and you can still get it for $60, but it's very scarce if you're like hunting around and like going into different Targets or whatever. There's only like 2 on the shelf for the meantime. Hopefully there'll be more plentiful coming out. I know that the pre-order had went up, and then right after the pre-order went up, like literally the next week, all of a sudden they're in stores. So shout outs to McFarlane team. They are actually not only showing us things from SDCC or actually giving us weekly updates on new release figures, but they're showing up in the stores. You got to give them respect for that. Like as soon as he announced something, all of a sudden, boom, there they go. But with this video, I'm going to go over the 2-pack and also show the other sculpt, which was the, I think the Batman Doomsday version. I know a lot of people did customs. I did mine's own, I did my own little custom of it. And I'm going to compare the two. Now, as you can see, this is what it looks like inside the box. Has a nice, cool, like, backdrop in the behind it. So you get, like, a destroyed city or whatever. This one didn't come with any base, which I found very interesting. I thought it would, like, come with, like, street rubble destruction. But overall, the packaging, the design of it is pretty much flawless. Like, window packaging will never, ever go out of style. Like, I don't care what other company comes out and decides that, well, we're going to just put it in a box. It looks ugly, bro. We need to see what's inside the package when we buy something. And as you can see, he comes with 2 sets of hands. He has open hands only. And I thought that was very interesting because I thought they may have like closed fists. So this particular Superman doesn't have closed fists. He has like spread out fists like he's flying. I'm going to show that to you. And he also has like gripping hands, I guess, if you want to grab this big guy. But let's take a look at him outside of the box. Okay, so outside of the box, this is what you're getting. You're actually getting a real beat up, Superman. Looks like he's have some wear and tear on him. He has a bloody mouth, as you can see. All new head sculpt. I actually like the head sculpt, but he looks like, yeah, he's battle damaged to the gills. I mean, he has like, the paint shading on it is actually done pretty good too. What they did was, instead of giving us like sculpts or scratches, they actually like gave us little paint. So actually you can see like a little scratch on his arm. He has a scratch on his inner thigh. This one right here is, yeah, this isn't sculpted, but it's actually, showing you wear and tear of his costume. He has another scratch on his shoulder up there. Very overall cool paint apps that they did with this figure. Also, his boots are sort of like, I would say they did put a little bit of shading on his boots because they look a little darker than they do the rest of the red. So you can actually see like how they, I don't know if it's going to come up on camera, but you can actually see that, the boots are in a darker, dirtier look to give it that look like he's actually battling, he's fighting to survive, With this particular comic, when it came out, and I remember when I reviewed the DC Collectibles one, you could check one of my old videos out. I had reviewed that too and gave you an overall history of when Superman died in comics. It literally almost like tanked comics in general. It was such of a huge deal back then where nobody could see Superman actually losing. He was one of the most powerful beings on planet Earth, and to have Doomsday come along and actually just take him out and take out the Justice League was very interesting. But overall, this is the most iconic story. For collectors out there, you do want to get this 2-pack. If you collect DC comics, if you collect DC action figures, yeah, you would want this sitting on your shelf. But overall, his cape is, pretty much tattered and everything. It's really worn. Like he's really been dragged through the mud when he fought Doomsday. I think this cape does come from the, I'm not to say it's the Superman Who Laughs, but it was the Superman Infected, yeah. So you're getting pretty much the same sculpt from the Superman Infected version. Only difference is it's a more brighter blue. The emblem's different and the head sculpt is different. Has different painted apps. Now these fists that are on here, came from a different Superman. So you're not getting fists, like I said before, with this particular 2-pack. But if you collect McFarlane action figures, one thing about it, you have spare hands around. I mean, you know, when he gives us characters, he do give us a lot of open and closed hands. So I don't think it'd be very hard for you to find some closed fists in your collection if you've been collecting McFarlane toys this long. The peg itself is a little bit thinner, so it's not like the big one that came with the Superman 1000. This is a more thinner peg. I don't know if it's coming out as you can see it, but yeah, it's a more thinner peg. So if you have a accessory, you know, box somewhere in your collection, you can actually just put on one of the hands and go on like that. But yeah, these are the hands he actually comes with, ripping hands and everything. He also comes with this particular hands. I really like this particular scope of design, how it looks like he's, you know, reaching out for something, but not really. But I think they came out good. He also comes with 2 sets of these hands, where he's like, you know, he could take his iconic flying poses. So yeah, they're pretty good, and they sculpted on the inside too, you know. And like I said, because of the variety of like swapping different accessories when you do collect McFarlane figures, it's very good to have a good amount of sets of hands, because you may have a human character that you may want to swap out and change hands. And I think that certain pegs that he's releasing now can be swappable, or can be, you know, swapped out for different hands, different displays of hands, you know. Now when we look over here at Doomsday, now before I review this Doomsday, I want to show you one of the customs that I did work on before. Just give me 1 second. Now as you can see here, there's 2 Doomsdays here, okay? This Doomsday is pretty much an all-new scope except for the arms. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Just the arms. This is an all-new scope. Spikes and all. This is my custom that I pretty much designed before this was released. When we got that Batman Doomsday, I really wanted a Doomsday. So what I did was I customized my own Doomsday. I painted him up, you know, gave him, you know, pretty much the same look as he would look in the comics. What I like about my custom, and my custom is one of my favorites, I actually went all out as far as the paint. I darkened them a little bit. I actually gave him more brighter spikes, you know, so like all over his body is pretty much painted in green. But like I said, don't get it confused. This is still a good Doomsday, and what I'm going to do is exactly the same treatment I did with this one, unless McFarlane gives us a newer version with more paint apps. What I want to do is I want to actually paint this Doomsday exactly like how I painted this Doomsday right here. You know, give him more darker shading and actually give him more brighter spikes, because overall the mouth movement is still there. This is all mouth movement as well. It's an all new sculpt, but it pretty much has the same articulation as this right here. What I did as far as his boots is I gave my Doomsday the Bane boots. So what I did was I cut it off right here at the ankle, and then what I did was just attach Bane's boots. So what you're seeing here is actually Bane from the Build-A-Figure wave, but when they were on clearance and they were like, you know, less than $10, I was like, you know what, I could use a new set of legs. So what I want to do is to try my hand at making a custom Doomsday, and I think he came out pretty good. He came out not as tall as this one. I think the only reason why this beats him in height is because of his little hair bun up here. I had a hair bun up here, but I might have to resculpt a new hair bun. But overall, I still like the way he came out. He still photographs in certain good pictures. I actually used spikes from parts of over here and gave him his, like, you know, his chest spikes, which McFarlane did do on this one. As you can see here, he does have his, you know, his middle of the chest spikes of all of those bones that are coming out. But overall, this came out pretty good. Now, as far as his articulation goes, he pretty much has very good standard articulation. He can only bend his arms up to there. So if you had the Batman Doomsday, Infected Doomsday version, you're pretty much getting the same articulation. You know, he has the wrist joints in his hands a little bit, but they only move vertical, but you can still twist them all the way around. They move up, they move down. His arm spreads out about that far. Oops. Hang on a second. It's not broken, but it snaps back in. Okay, so he does have the arm spreads out. You can actually spread his arm out about that much. You know what I'm saying? His mouth articulation is there, so his mouth can move. Still does the chomping sounds. Like I said, I'm looking at this and I like the gray, but what I want to do is I want to definitely paint this white. I cannot wait to paint this white and show you guys exactly how I would want to see this particular sculpt and how Doomsday should look to me, you know. But overall, I think McFarlane Toys did a good job. He gave us brand new pants, brand new leg sculpt, the boots. They don't have the articulation in it as far as the toe joints, but they still give you a good up and down movement, you know, side to side. You know what I'm saying? So this Doomsday can't stand. Now, in the middle here, in the ball joints, you got to be careful because I haven't warmed this particular joint up yet to actually see if there's a thigh swivel or not. It seems like it's a very heavy leg on a light peg, but, you know, overall, you can still get your kicks. You know, you can get your kick out, kick back. That's how far it can go back. You know what I'm saying? Overall, I love this Doomsday. I'm glad that Todd gave us a official Doomsday. Some people may say that the head sculpt looks a little bit more modern, but I actually like the way this particular Doomsday come out. He's hefty as heck. He's heavy. I wouldn't say as heavy as the Batman Doomsday, because there's a different articulation in the legs and the pants and everything, but he's still a hefty beast of a figure. And, you know, for $60, you can't really go wrong with this much sculpt that he done on this particular Doomsday. I gotta give the McFarlane team credit for actually giving us a nice, well-articulated Doomsday. Now, as far as the Superman goes, there is I think, Hush Superman coming out that's going to have the same vibrant colors like this. But if you want to beat up, grizzled, you know, been through the fight Superman, I think this is a good Superman to have. This is probably one of my favorite Supermans in my collection. Superman 1000 is still up there as far as my number one. I will never, you know, when Superman 1000 came out, a lot of people had their different gripes with it. You know, it was the first of the line, for one of the first Supermans in the McFarlane, you know, collection. But overall, I think, you know, what we got from there only improved how well, you know, McFarlane's team can sculpt Superman. And I think this is one of the best Superman out to date. Like I said, I didn't get the Hush one yet. I do want that one. I'm not talking about the one that's poison ivy infected. I'm talking about just a standard Superman with these bright colors, because of all the Supermen, some of the blues are a little bit darker, some of the reds are a little bit darker. We've gotten different variations of Superman, and I gotta say, I really like this Superman. This was one of the Supermans that we wish we had gotten with the Superman 1000. Only thing that a lot of people I know complained about was that it didn't have double jointed elbows, but now you're getting the double jointed elbows, and I gotta say that face sculpt and all, you know, sometimes we get the most craziest Superman face sculpts. I think this is a actually well-designed, good face sculpt for anybody that's collecting McFarlane action figures. You know, I think, like I said, I think they did a good job with this. As far as them all beat up and scratched, like I said, you may want to put this with your battered and bruised Superman. If you like to take pictures and pose them, this will be a battle-ready Superman. And that's my review of the Superman McFarlane Toys 2-pack, Doomsday 2-pack. Rate, comment, subscribe, tell me what you think. Tell me if you're thinking about picking this up. You know, like I said, as far as in Target, I think there's only 2 per case. So if you do see it come up on, whether it's, you know, on the website, or if you happen to just be passing by, I wouldn't pass up. I would just go ahead and just pick it up to have in your collection if you're a DC Multiverse collector. Rate, comment, subscribe, tell me what you think, and I'll catch you in the next video in the future. Peace.